Hey, welcome to Booty Core and Pelvic Floor. My name is Kat Michael Buss, and today we will work our core from the inside out, working all the different layers of our core as well. So that's the great thing about this class is that you actually get down deep and start working your inner core muscles, whereas a lot of other core exercises, you're just crunching on the outside muscles and not even getting deep down in there. So let's get started. You don't need any equipment today, just you, your body, and we'll go ahead, get ourselves warmed up. Lie down on your back and play some music. And let me know if the music is too loud, too quiet. It's going to start off a little quiet, then I'll turn it up later. But let me know if it's too loud. All right. Here we go. On your back, feet flat on the ground, or you can have them fully extended, whatever feels best for you. Take your hands to your ribs, deep breath in. Exhale. So your hands around your ribs, feel that breath, expand your rib cage out. So we're just working on our diaphragmatic breath right here. And guess what? Your diaphragm is part of your core. So that's why we're warming it up. And sometimes it's easier to activate your diaphragm when you're on your back. So you're not thinking about all the other things like sitting up nice and straight and tall. And you're able just to focus in on your diaphragm. So I want you to think of your inner core muscles as a soda can. So when you inhale, before we get to that, the top of the soda can is your diaphragm. The sides of the soda can is your transverse abdominis. That goes all the way around. So put your hands on your belly. Now this time as you exhale, pretend like you're blowing through a straw. And try to get all that air out. Deep breath in. Exhale, like you're blowing through a straw. And what that does, your diaphragm is connected to your transverse abdominis, your inner core corset muscle, the outside of the can, the soda can. So when you exhale all that air out, it helps you activate your transverse abdominis, your TVA. So use that breath right there. Try to get all the air out. You can even hold for a second as you push all that air out. You can place your hands on your side, see if everything is going in as you exhale. So we have the top of the soda can, the sides of the wall. Let's talk about the bottom of the soda can. That's your pelvic floor. And men have pelvic floor too. Everyone does. So you inhale and then exhale. You're gently lifting your pelvic floor. Think of your pelvic floor like a diamond from your pubic bone, sits bone, tailbone to sits bone. So as you exhale, it's like you're lifting a tissue up off the ground by pulling the middle of it. So inhale, everything relaxes. Exhale, everything comes in. So when you inhale, it's like the soda can is open, right? You could crush that soda can with your hand because everything is relaxed. But when you exhale, it's like the soda can is closed. You can't squeeze that soda can. You can't pop it. You can't deflate the soda can. Do that again. So the reason why that's so important is when we are doing our core exercises, we want the soda can tight. Because otherwise, what happens is that you end up pushing out your pelvic floor when it should be contracted in. So stay with that. Now add some movement to it. Tilting the hips, rolling them away, tilting them towards you on the exhale. Inhale, exhale. So you're getting a little more rectus abdominis here as you exhale. But remember that soda can when we go into positions like plank and hip bridge. We want that soda can to be closed. That means diaphragm has pushed the air out, TVA is contracted, pelvic floor is lifted. This time, exhale, tilt, roll the hips up one vertebra at a time. Hold at the top. Inhale. Feel that 360-degree expansion of the ribs. Then start exhaling. Lower down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale at the top. Exhale. You're lifting one vertebra at a time. Hold at the top. Inhale. Start your exhale before you move. We're pre-contracting the core before we add the movement. Inhale. Hold at the top. Little pulse. Up. Lower. Lift. Lower. So pre-contracting the core before you lift, because that's closing up the soda can. We want everything closed up nice and strong before we add the movement. Hold, teeny tiny pulse. Up. Up. Lift. Lift. Keep lifting. Inhales and exhales just nice and steady right here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down nice and controlled. Hug the knees in. Pull your knees back towards your shoulders. Roll your back around. Hip bridges are so great for your glutes, so great for your back, all that fun stuff. Hold it here. Feet hip distance apart. Bring your right leg to tabletop. If you feel like your foot is too close, you'll feel it in your hamstrings more. Get your foot a little farther away, about a foot away from your glute. Lift and lower. Now work to keep your knee right over your hip. If you bring your knee closer to your chest, it actually turns off your core. Hold it up, lengthen that leg, lower, lift. At the exhale, where you feel like you need the most support. So for me, it's when I bring my leg in. For you, it might be when you lower your leg. And lift, lift, up, up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Cross your ankle over. Pull through the opening. Release. Quick little stretch. Left knee lifted. Up. Lower. So opposite knee lifting up and down. Work to keep your knee right over your hip. Lengthen that leg. Lower. Lift. Lower. Work to keep your hips level. Obliques are activating with this single leg work. Hold. Up. 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 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Cross your right ankle over. Pull through the opening. Oh, that feels good. Hold it here. Bring both knees to tabletop. So if your knees are already in tabletop, you should feel the area between your belly button and your pubic bone activated. If you're not feeling it, set your hands on your low core. Now lower your right leg. Left. Now you do not have to touch the floor. You can lower it just a little bit. If you feel your core or your back overarching as you lower your leg, you went too far. That means your core isn't engaged anymore. Keep going. And left. Work to keep your hips level as you lower and lift your legs. Hug your knees in. Quick little break for your back, for your legs. Now opposite, set your feet down. Nice long spine right here. Exhale and bring your knee up. So you'll notice I'm really loud with my exhales. Hopefully that's reminding you to add your exhale in there as well. If you want, lift both legs. Lower both. Lift both. Lower both. Now, if you feel like your back is popping out or you're not engaging that low part of your core, stay with alternating. Now, I'm adding an exhale both as I lower and lift. So this here is a hard exercise. So be sure you're still using that core, your breath. Hug your knees in, roll your back around. Let's move to our sides. All the way onto your side. Starting off, hip and shoulder. Hip and shoulder are aligned on the back of your mat. Think about doing a plank right here. You're activating your obliques. Let's actually start with that plank. Knee down. So now knee, hip, elbow are lined along the back of your mat. Reach and lift with that top arm. You're trying to lengthen the space between your bottom hip and your top shoulder. Reaching, reaching. So we're working on that beautiful fascial line from our bottom hip to our top shoulder. Your fascia is kind of like the glue that holds everything together. So if you're sitting all day, your fascia is going to glue you into that seated position. So right here, we're working on opening up. Opening, opening. It's almost like you're rotating open. And yes, I'm holding you here. Reach and stretch. We're lengthening that fascia. Lower, lift the hips. Lower, lift, lower. Activate your obliques on the bottom as you lift up. Hips down. Push the floor away. Oh, I worked my obliques a lot yesterday. So I'm feeling it. Bring your elbow down. Bottom leg is bent out in front, kind of like a tripod to hold you steady. Now think about your hips. Open them up, open that core up, shoulders lined up, just as if you were in that side plank, but your hip is down. Take your top leg now, lift and lower. Now it's not a very big movement. If you go too high, you're gonna end up collapsing into your ribs. That's not the point right here. We're working to keep that plank form, lifting and lowering, working the outside edge of your glutes. Take your foot, externally rotate it. Lift, lower. You can go a little higher when your foot is externally rotated, just because of the angle of our hips. Bend the knee, lift, lift. We're shortening that lever. Your leg is the lever, but you can really feel it in that outside edge of your glutes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach overhead. Reach, reach. So I've always had, like my body shape, I've always said it's more like a boy body shape, like it's straight up and down, no hips. But I'm happy to say that I have more of a waist and more hips now. And part of it is because I've been working on my glutes, and your glutes go all the way around. So we're working that outer edge right there. Bend that knee, you're gonna come forward, back, lift 2, up, up, forward, back, forward, back, lift, lift, forward, back, lift. Hold it here, straighten out that leg. Bend your knee. You're working to keep that leg perfectly level, like it's on a shelf as you extend out, in, out, in, and reach overhead. Let's do that all on the other side. Flip over, starting with our side plank so we can feel our obliques working, feel how our body should be aligned. Elbow, hip, bottom knee, all aligned with the back of your mat. Open it up, nice and long right here. Reach, reach. And then once you're in it, you can always adjust. So if you feel like your shoulder isn't in the right place, you can adjust. You don't have to stay exactly where you were when you first got into this plank. We're working bottom hip, top shoulder, almost like we're rotating open. You're not falling back, but you are reaching towards that ceiling. Think about lengthening that space, lengthening your fascia, lengthening that fascia line, reaching, reaching. Add the hip lifts, lift, lower, Feel your obliques working there. Lower lifting is always harder on the second side. And set your hips down. Push the floor away. Gently. Feeling that stretch in your ribs. Back down. Your front knee is bent out in front. Hip, elbow lined up on the back of your mat. Think about that nice plank form we had before. We're not down here. See how nothing's aligned? Lift it up, lift the chest. Nice long spine right here. So if I took a ruler, it would be perfectly aligned with your spine. Not like that, like that. Leg nice and long. Lift and lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Point that toe. It's a small movement. Okay, our foot, when our foot is parallel to the other foot, we can't lift our leg as high. And that's okay. We want that to be a small movement so that we're not bringing the movement into our spine. Open up your foot, externally rotate, lift and lower. You can go a little bit bigger, but you don't need to go very big right here to feel it. Four, three, 2, 1, bend, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. I just realized I let my hips drop, or my ribs drop. I brought them back up. Extend, reach overhead. Let's get back into it. Hip down, open. Bend that knee, forward, back, lift, lift. Forward, back, lift, lift. Forward, back, lift, lift. Forward, back, lift. Hold it here. Everything nice and stationary. Open up that leg. Back in. Open. That leg is just hovering above the ground. In. One more. In. And reach over your head. Let's go into a quadruped position. So that means on all fours. Now before we even start, let's do a little bit of cat-cow. So inhale, exhale. You're articulating the spine, bringing movement to the multifidus muscles. Those are the muscles between each vertebra that we are lengthening. We're using them to help us articulate the spine. And I was helping someone articulate his spine yesterday. And I was telling him that it actually takes time to be able to move one vertebra at a time. And I still have a sticky spot in my low back. But these movements here help loosen up the multifidus muscles, strengthen them. Now let's find neutral spine, neutral pelvis. So you can either keep oscillating and then make those little oscillations smaller and smaller and smaller until you come to a spot where you're not moving anymore. Your back isn't overly arched, your hips aren't overly rotated back, and you're not rounded. So your back is nice and long as if you were still lying on the ground. So this here is actually making your core work, finding neutral hips, neutral spine. Now, watch my core. As I inhale, things come out. Okay, so it's natural for things to expand out. Then as you exhale, everything zips up. Gonna hold that contraction, but now add a little beast. So toes, lift, knees down. I'm holding the contraction, but still using my breath to get even deeper. This one, hold it up, hold. And I love beast pose. I do it all the time because it's a great way to feel your core, feel that soda can that is closed, before we go into plank. Knees down, push back. Because I can't tell you how often I've seen and I've personally done a plank and not had my core engaged at all. Or I see all the time people not having their core engaged when they're in plank. That's why I love beast pose, because you have a shorter lever. Hold it here. So your legs aren't fully extended. You can feel your core a little bit more. Everything's squeezing in. You're squeezing in the sides of the soda can. Knees down, push back. Bring it back to all fours. Inhale, exhale. Find that soda can. Now right leg, kick back. In. Hold the soda can nice and tight, but you're still using your breath as you kick back. So we're going into a modified plank right here. One leg is down, one leg is up. This next set, you can stay there or lift to beast. In. You can't really see it, but my knees are hovering above the ground, like I'm sliding a piece of paper underneath them. Knees down, push back. Bring it back. Core is engaged. Lift up, walk back, right, left to plank. Hold, hold. Now rock and roll. Forward, back. Hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that soda can. Pelvic floor is lifted. TVA is engaged. Holding, holding. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Lift up into a cobra. That means elbows are underneath your shoulders. Long spine. Reach all the way out in front. So you're trying to get your fingers and toes a little bit farther apart. Now set your hands under your head. Under your head, lie down. Now I want you to take a deep breath in and then exhale. So we were doing this earlier on our back, but now we're on our stomachs. Feel your ribs expand, like right where your bra line is. So as you inhale, ribs are expanding out into your back as well. Our ribs go all the way around, not just in the front. So I want you to feel that expansion in the back as well, because we're using our diaphragm 360 degrees around our spine, in our ribs. Bring your head down. Lift your bottom half. Legs, they're staying nice and long. No bend in the knees here. Nice and long. Think about pointing your toes. We're using our glutes, hamstrings, and our low back to lift the legs. As you lift up, you're pulling your belly button away from the mat. Keep your legs down. Lift the upper half. It's not a very big movement, but we're strengthening our low back right here. Combine it, both bottom and top. You can always do top half then bottom half if that feels better for you. It's natural to want to push your belly button into the mat, but we want to pull it away because that means we're pulling the soda can walls in. We're not pressing them out. That's our relaxed state. We want our core to be strongest in the contracted state. And hold, hold. Relax your glutes, set your elbows underneath your shoulders. Relax your glutes for a little cobra pose. Instead of thinking about compressing your low back, lengthen it, lengthen it. You're stretching out those multifidus muscles between the vertebra. Release, reach, reach. Super person, reach and lower. So both arms and legs, you're lengthening the lever on top. So your arms are longer. That means there's more force on your back, on your legs. Keep going, extend and lower. And lower. Hold this one, hold. Alternate arm and legs, swimming. Again, you're pulling your belly button away from the mat. Away from the mat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Head down. Ooh, relax. Feel yourself melt into the mat. Just melting into it. Hands come out. So we'll be working our lats right here as well as our low back. So I like to think of all the muscles in your core, everything from like right below your armpits to the top of your glutes. So all the muscles in here are your core muscles. So your lats are included in that. So arms extended out. Slide your shoulder blades back and down by activating your lats. You can even reach back and touch them. They're like your wings that pull your shoulder blades down. So you're in that Y. You're just going to do a little pulse. Release, lift, lower. It's like you have a pencil over your spine. You're trying to squeeze that pencil with your shoulder blades and then use your lats to pull your shoulder blades down. We're training our lats. Now go into a W, bring your elbows down. We're training our lats to pull our shoulder blades down versus our deltoids jamming them down, right? Because that's one thing. Our shoulders start to creep up, up, up. The worse our posture gets. And a lot of the time, we just need more lat activation. Take your arms out to a T, lift, lift. You'll feel a little bit more low traps here. That's the area between your shoulder blades and your spine. Four, 3, 2, 1. Release. Relax. Ooh, lots of back work right there. One more time, Y's, W's, T's. Lift up into that Y. Feel your lats. Pulling it down. Right here, your lats are like on the outside of your ribs. Go to a W. T. Y. W. T. And relax. Woo. Let's roll over onto our back. Onto our back where we started. So we just worked our low back a lot. Now on your back, we're going to do a little bit more core work on the front part of our body. So feet flat on the ground. Recontract that core. Lift, lower. So yes, it is a crunch. But now I want you to feel your keep going, your transverse abdominis activating. Your rectus abdominis is what's creating that flexion. Hold. Now your obliques are in charge of flexion side to side. So right now we have everything working together. We have our TVA that's pre-contracted. Rectus abdominis is lifting our shoulders off the ground. Obliques are flexing you from side to side. 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Now, I didn't want to do this core work in the beginning because I wanted you to activate all those muscles before we went into the core work, or into the core work, traditional core work, because we were doing core work the entire time, but sit-ups, more sit-up things. Knees over your hips, lift up. So do that again. Inhale, lift up. Beautiful. Bring your right knee in, switch. Now think about that area between your belly button and your pubic bone. For me, that's one of the hardest areas to activate, and it might be for you too. It might not be, but that area is connected to your pelvic floor. So when you're able to contract that area, then it automatically helps you contract your pelvic floor. Single, single hold. Single, single hold. Single, single hold. If you're feeling it in your neck, think about activating your rectus abdominis more to lift your shoulder blades off your mat. It's not your neck lifting them off the mat, it's your shoulder blades, and hug your knees in. So let's work on our spinal articulation. We were doing it before with hip bridges. Now we're doing it going the opposite direction. Deep breath in. Exhale. Lifting up, peeling up one vertebra at a time. Now if you get a sticky point, walk your hands up your thighs. Walk your hands up your thighs. Inhale. Exhale. Roll down. One vertebra at a time, nice and controlled. So we're not just flopping down, and I can tell today that my core is tired because it's harder for me to do this. Hold, hold, hold. You can either have your hands under your shoulders for a little extra support. So right leg out, in, out. Add that exhale, fraction of a second before you move. Switch sides. Adding that exhale a fraction of a second before you move to pre-contract the core. And lift up, arch the back. Let's do that one more time. You have 15 seconds left. Bring it back. Right knee, left knee. So what is lifting right knee, left knee like? It's like walking, right? Right leg, left leg. We're training our core to help support our legs. Training our core to help support our hip flexors. I lied, you have another 15 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bottom of your feet together. Oh, we did it. We made it. Good job. Amazing job. Bring it back centered. Lift, lift. Sitting nice and tall. Great job. You just took a half an hour to reconnect with your core, with your breath. Extend your right leg out. With your pelvic floor. All the muscles that you can't see. Those are all the muscles you can't see. And oftentimes, we usually just work the muscles we can see, right? Everyone wants to have a big old booty. Everyone wants a six-pack. But what's the point of having a six-pack if your transverse abdominis, the inner core muscles, aren't working properly, aren't firing properly? Reach. And what's the point of having a six-pack if you can't activate your pelvic floor? Square your shoulders off to the side. So that's why we work on all those connections with our inner core muscles, the muscles you can't see, the muscles that get forgotten, but they are the muscles that help hold us up nice and tall. They're the muscles that help relieve back pain. The pelvic floor is like a seatbelt for your back. If your pelvic floor isn't seatbelted in, your low back is going to take all the strain. And how many people do you know with low back pain? Like everybody? Every single person? And I have to say, since I do these exercises, my low back pain is significantly less. It's still there sometimes because I don't know, I play too much beach volleyball probably, but everything helps strengthen it when you use your inner core muscles. Switch. So be proud of yourself. You took the time to become stronger, right? It's only half an hour. It's 2% of your day, and you did it. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Congratulate yourself, right? We need to congratulate ourselves more for the little things, the little wins. Deep breath in, because this little win will translate into a big win for your back, for your core, everything. Thank you for joining me, friends. I will see you all next time. Let me know what was your favorite move or how this class has helped you and your back out. All right. Bye, friends.